Thanks for joining us on Times Now. The language row has taken a violent turn in Karnataka today, with pro-Kannada groups going on a rampage in Bengaluru, making the streets of this global city descend into absolute chaos. All signboards, banners, hoardings in languages other than Kannada were targeted, blackened, torn apart. Hotels, restaurants, shops have been vandalized by members belonging to the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike and other pro-Kannada groups. Protesters are seeking immediate implementation of the Bengaluru civic body's order directing all businesses to have 60% of their signages in Kannada. BBMP, remember, had set February 28th as the deadline for the businesses to comply with the order, failing which legal action would have been taken. But 2 months before the deadline set by the civic body, pro-Kannada groups have hit the streets and have started vandalism in the name of Kannada pride. The protest and vandalism caused traffic jam in different parts of the city. Protesters also blocked the airport road, forcing the commercial establishments to down their shutters. At several places, movement of ambulance was affected due to protest on streets.
Amid the protests over here, you can see an ambulance, in fact, that's struggling to progress ahead. Remember that the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike today, in fact, has called on protests in Bengaluru city demanding Kannada signages. Well, even at this point in time, as there are several police personnel deployed here, you can see that the ambulance, in fact, unfortunately, of course, struggling to progress ahead. Remember that this protest comes even as the Karnataka government has set a deadline of the month of February for all of these establishments to put up Kannada signages. But despite that, we are seeing violent protests today. A hotel has been vandalized. A signboard, in fact, one of the bigger billboards over here on the main airport road has in fact been ripped down. In fact, we're seeing massive traffic jams being reported and people being inconvenienced at the end of the day owing to this massive protest here. Well, of course, it remains to be seen as to when things are restored to normalcy over here.
This is not what a protest should look like. Let's open this up. We have our viewers joining us. Prashant joining us from Bengaluru. Sir, good evening. This is your channel. Go ahead.
Hi. Good evening. If given a permit, I would want to first remember General Bipin Rawat, who spoke about the 2.5 front war which the Bharat is facing today. So what we see, the divisive forces that are really creating this whole thing in the state of Karnataka is utter arrogance. It's a sheer arrogance, I would call it. I would want to ask one important question to all these so-called protesters who are staging for the change of the name board to the Kannada or whatever they want to call it, right? I want to ask them, do you know, instead of doing such things, you could have celebrated the Reverend Taltaje Vasant Kumar, who was the very forefront person to bring in the old Kannada inscription, who did the extensive research on the old Kannada, that is what we call it Halagannada. And today is also the birth anniversary of Sri Devudu, Narasimha Shastri, who actually brought in the entire literature, Kannada literature to the world, right? So what I see them, right, instead of studying about the reverend people who contributed to the literature of Kannada language.
Why indulge in mindless actions to inconvenience the Aam Aadmi? I get the point, sir. Well said. Thank you for connecting. Mahesh Kumar now joining us from Pune, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir, to everyone. My only question is why all these politicians and these protesters, sons and daughters are studying in English medium schools? Why don't they go in a Kannada schools?
Right, your point taken, sir. Thank you. Kanhaiya joining us from Bengaluru. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you. You're on Times now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not a pro-Kannada. I am love with Kannada. My mother tongue is Telugu. I am living in Karnataka. I accept my Kannada because we living there. We want respect the Kannada. When we go to the north side, they'll put only Hindi. We cannot tell them to put in Kannada. Okay, whatever we living in Karnataka, we should obey the Karnataka government orders and Karnataka love and affection. We want Kannada in all places wherever public.
Right, but I'm sure you don't agree with the means used here or the means deployed in this protest. Thank you, Kanhaiya, for connecting, sharing your thoughts. Let's open this up. Dr. Sudha Alkai, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Rahul Ishwar, activist, advocate Umar Junaidi, political analyst, and Shivanand Gundanavar of the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike. Now, Mr. Shivanand, what was this? This was not protest.
This is not a protest. This is we are conveying a message to the outsiders who they came here there and they are living here. They should respect our language, our Kannada language. So Karnataka is the state of Kannadigas. Here Kannada is our main our language. People here love the language more than our life. So beside like whatever the Kannadigas have living peacefully a lot of years here in this country for thousand of years, Kannadigas are very open-hearted and friendly peoples. But who are they are not our mother tongue insulting the day by day, like you can see here in Karnataka in Bangalore. So the 60% they should signboard they should.
No, I understand, Mr. Shivanand. I understand that, but the deadline is still 2 months away. Before the deadline expires, and 1 minute, you have a system where there are agencies to take care if compliance is not ensured. But what is this? This mindless rampage, violence, vandalism, and allow me to bring in Rahul Ishwar, who will tell you why this is wrong.
See, this rule is not came now or before few years. This rule is came from last.
No, that's
years
okay. But Mr. Shivanand, okay. You're sounding like a reasonable guy, sir. Even if the rule is not followed, does not give you the license to go and attack people, to break shops, to vandalize things.
Pranesh, just two submissions.
Given lot of information and lot of intimation to the all the who are like doing business here.
No, that's okay. But this is blackmail, Mr. Shivanand. This is blackmail. If you have a problem, go to the police, go to the BBMP, write to the government. How can you take the law in your own hands? And why inconvenience the people? The ambulance was stuck. No, 1 minute, Mr. Shivanand. Do you know whether a Kannadiga was inside the ambulance or an outsider? In your words, sir, or a non-Kannadiga? How do you know?
See, first you can understand the situation. See, last 6 months onwards, Karve is giving the instruction to the all the businessman and everyone.
No, I understand that. But despite that, I understand that, Mr. Shivanand. I understand that. Let me bring in Rahul Ishwar. He'll tell you why this is wrong. Rahul Ishwar.
Ganesh, just two submissions. One, we are all, I'm a proud Indian from South. We are all proud of our languages, especially Kannada is a beautiful and glorious language, and we are all proud of Bangalore and Karnataka. At the same point of time, non-violence is non-negotiable. We cannot have violence for a just cause. Even though the cause may be right, the language pride is right. We cannot have violence which will only scare away people. Second point, India has always followed a 3-language policy with English as a global language, Hindi as a national language, and our own regional languages, may it be Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, or Telugu. So we should honor that. And Bangalore is such a cosmopolitan city. It's a global city. It's a synonym of the world itself, especially with the IT parks and all. Don't we need more integration, more cosmopolitanism? And Kannada being a great language, it spreads the radiance of Kannada across the world, because Bangalore is literally called the Silicon Valley of India. So if you are going for violence, it will only scare away people. It will scare the companies away. It will scare the development away. We want to have great Kannadiga along with Hindi, along with English. And why do we have intolerance towards any language? Please remember, language pride is great, but language chauvinism is dangerous. Love for our own mother tongue is absolutely great, but hatred for other languages will only reduce us and make us smaller in the eyes of the world. So I urge Shivanand ji, who seems to be a very positive man for his language, I'm absolutely proud of your love for your language. At the same point of time, when we take violence, chauvinism, linguistic jingoism, it will only alienate people.
Let's also, well said, let's also bring in our viewers joining us, and we have Mr. KV Gupta calling us from Bengaluru. Mr. Gupta, good evening, sir. You're on Times Now, your channel. Go ahead.
Good evening. Namaskara, Ellargo. The moment I speak in Kannada, 140 crore Indians may not understand, so I'll speak in English. I am little upset by the way the news is presented. People don't seem to understand the pain and the insult and the importance that we Kannadigas feel living in Bangalore. For example, every day that I walk out of my house and I meet people, I have to ask them, do you know Kannada? Nimage Kannada barutta? I have to ask them. It is true that Bangalore is the state capital of Karnataka. Our official language is Kannada. And it is also true that there is only about 15% of Kannadigas living in Bangalore. I have traveled all over India, and I have seen that my Kannada has no value in any city, any state in India, whether it is Srinagar, Kashmir, whether it is Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu, whether it is Jamnagar, Gujarat, or whether it is Kolkata, West Bengal. Wherever I go, I have to speak in their language if I want my work to be done.
No, I understand, Mr. Gupta. I understand the point you're making. There's absolutely no problem in what you've said. We all respect and welcome it. I'm only talking about the means and ways, sir. Vandalism, violence. Is that correct?
Sir, we Indians are so used to Mahatma Gandhi's way of getting independence that we don't really give value to Subhash Chandra Bose.
Okay.
We don't give value to Karnataka Rakshana Vedike's efforts trying to tell people, wake up, learn your Kannada, give respect to us.
Okay.
That is what they are doing. You may not like.
Let's get in other viewers also. Mr. Gupta, thank you for connecting and sharing your thoughts. We have Mr. Pramod joining us from Bengaluru as well. Sir, go ahead. Good evening.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರಮೋದ್ ಕಂಚಿ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು 62 ವರ್ಷದವನು, ಹುಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆದವನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿನೇ. ಈಗ ಶಿವಾನಂದ್ ಅನ್ನೋರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವರು ಕನ್ನಡ ರಕ್ಷಣಾ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅಂಗ್ರೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಗುಪ್ತಾ ಅವರೇ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಬೋಸು, ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ನಾನು ತಾಲೂಕಾ ಓಡಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಡೀ ಕಂಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾನು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಅಸ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೀವು
Okay, I think we've lost that line, but Dr. Sudha Halkai, what was Mr. Pramod trying to tell us?
Namaskara to all. I'm a proud Kannadiga too. First and foremost, I proudly represent a party which has always given a first priority to territorial nationalism, and we were the first party to get NEP into existence, where the mother tongue is given the first priority rather than the second and the third language. And this issue today, what has raken up is immediately after Minister Shivanand's statement regarding very insensitive, unethical statement against the farmers, which has it is really aroused a storm of fire amongst all of us. So this is a divergent politics again, what these people are doing. There was a normal protest by the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike, which has turned into vandalism. There is again a collapse of law and order, which every alternate day it is taking place. As if Karnataka is orphan, it has become orphan today. Or I can say there is a bad governance of Congress today in Karnataka, which it is proving to the whole of the, not only to the country, to the whole of the world.
Right.
And where is Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, who has spoken about
Okay, so you believe this
brand
is government's
Bengaluru.
failure. This is the
It is
failure
always
on
become
part of
one
the
of
state
Bengaluru.
government, which is why we have scenes like these.
Absolutely, and it is a divergent politics. Divergent
Okay.
politics, again, drawing a curtain
Let's
on
bring in
Shivanand
our viewers.
statement. The same thing.
Mr. Umar
and-
Junaidi, I'll come to you. Let's bring in our viewers. Jaya joining us from Mumbai. Ma'am, good evening. Okay, let's bring in Mr. Sandeep joining us from Bengaluru. Sir, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, actually, I'm a proud Kannadiga. See, your channel is showing as if Kannadigas itself themselves are not good. See, I have seen a lot of Hindi speakers who actually don't have common sense, and they blame the language of the land. They consume our water. They are there. Their livelihood is from Karnataka, and you people blame us. How is it so? You can see their existence itself is from our Karnataka, and you blame our Kannada language. I've seen n number of Hindi speakers who are least bothered about the language. The land is of Kannadigas, and how you claim and all those things. I understand that vandalism is not correct, but on the
that's the only point, Mr. Sandeep. I agree with everything that you said. I am only on the violence and vandalism bit, sir. Thank you. Thank you for connecting with us. We have more viewers joining us. Mr. Girish is on the line from Mumbai. Sir, good evening.
Good evening. I would like to say people are talking of pride. Yes, pride is a very good thing, but there is a difference between pride and criminal activities. What we are seeing on TV and what we are seeing is a clear-cut case of criminal activities, nothing to do with the pride of any language, be it Kannada or Sanskrit or Hindi or Tamil or Telugu. First thing. Second thing, we all are Bharatiya and Indian. Our first thing should be we should not destroy any of the active part of our country in the name of religion, in the name of language, in the name of caste and creed. And third and most important thing, this is just for the sake of publicity. These politicians are coming out for the 5-second fame and doing all these activities. The best way to shut any political person or activities if is involved, that party should be banned for election for next 5 years. All these things of caste, creed, language will be stopped. Thank you.
So you suspect politics in this. Mr. Shivanand is joining us from Bengaluru. Sir, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Shivanand Gundanavar. Namaskara.
Namaskara, sir.
Hello.
Namaskara, sir. Go ahead.
Outsiders, they are occupied our land. They are occupied our water. They are occupied each and everything.
We seem to be having some trouble connecting with our viewers, but Umar Junaidi, you heard the response of our viewers. The BJP says that your government must act.
Good evening, Pranesh. First of all, I would like to inform my friend from BJP and a panelist over here that everything, whatever happens in the state, does not have any political agenda behind. At least some of the things, few of the things.
It is the design.
Ma'am, I was silent when you were speaking.
Whatever
I was
said,
silent when you were speaking.
You cannot put a blame on BJP. You people are doing it, and we are not going to keep quiet.
Silent when you were
Just make his point. I'll come back to you for a response.
If you were silent,
Don't include politics here. See, this is the completely.
So the point. Am I getting a time to speak, or shall I listen to you, ma'am?
Go ahead, Advocate Junaidi.
Yeah. So the government has, the BBMP has issued a guidelines, given the orders that 60% of the signages, boardings, boards, whatever it is, should be in Kannada. That shows Karnataka government, the Congress government is pro-Kannada. Now the people who wanted it to be implemented as soon as possible, they protested, and one of the, I guess the president of the Carway has said that I have spoken to the chief minister and deputy chief minister. They have given the permission, and they said they will be allowing us for the protest. Yes, we are the Democratic Party. The Congress is the Democratic Party, and that's why the government allowed them to protest. Now the protest turning into vandalism is a point of worry, is a point of worry to everyone in the Bengaluru or in the Karnataka. Whether the question arises, are we following the methods and the steps used by the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra to implement the Marathi?
Let's not, like Shivanand Gundanavar said, let's not mix politics with this. Whatever has happened is on camera. There is rule of law. The police will have to take action against what this think is wrong. I thank all of you, Dr. Alkai, Rahul Ishwar, Mr. Shivanand and Advocate Junaidi for joining us on Times Now.